This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So we are looking at data visualization using Tableau. Data visualization, as the name itself is suggesting, it is basically visual representation of the data that we are handling. Okay, visual representation of the data. How do we represent the data given to us in a pictorial format? That is the idea. Now, the overall agenda of the course is given here. A small snapshot of it is given here. We will be looking at data visualization principles. Now, this is something that I will do a deep dive into once we begin creating the charts. Okay, today it's going to be mostly theoretical, where I will just walk you through the principles, but the practical application or implementation of the principles is something that you will get to see once we start creating the graphs. First two modules are theory. We are going to just make sure that we have a good foundation, okay, before we start creating the charts and before we start doing the hands-on activities. All right. So today and tomorrow also will be theoretical. After looking at data visualization principles, we will learn about a lot of things like how to create different types of charts or views in Tableau. There are 24 charts which we can create very easily in Tableau through something called as the Show Me panel, which in no way is a limitation of Tableau. Beyond the 24 charts, which can be directly created, there are hundreds of customized charts which we can create. We will be looking at that. After learning how to create charts, alongside that, we will also be learning how different concepts like how do we create filters in Tableau, what are groups, how do we sort the data, how do we create a set, what are calculations, when do we need to create calculations, and how do we create calculations, etc. Under calculations, we have one category called as level of detail expressions. Okay, so we will be looking at that as well in detail with real-time use cases and applications of level of detail or LOD expressions. Then we will cover about everything with respect to maps in Tableau, everything about geographical maps. So geospatial analysis is something we will take care of when we get here. And finally, we will look at how to create dashboards and stories in Tableau. So dashboards basically are that one-stop shop, are that one repository where we put all the worksheets that we have created together. So that is the overall agenda of the course. Now, along with this course, where we are learning a tool named as Tableau Desktop, you will also be given access to Tableau server training videos, okay, which will help you learn and understand about Tableau server, the installation part and configuration of server, etc. You will be given access to a webinar recording, which is about Tableau Prep, a tool that is used to clean the data and shape the data even before it is brought into Tableau. And you will also be given access to Tableau online recording. How do you use another tool called as Tableau Online? So you can say that this is one complete comprehensive course on Tableau, because we are looking at not just Tableau Desktop, the tool where we create the visualizations, not just the authoring part of it. We will also be looking at Tableau server configuration. You will be given access to all that. We will be looking at Tableau Prep, and we'll also be looking at Tableau Online. That is the agenda. All right, overall agenda. So now this course is of 30 hours duration. Okay, 30 hours in the sense every weekday, Monday to Friday, 2 hours, 8 to 10 p.m. IST. So next 3 weeks we will meet. This week, next week, and the following week we will meet from Monday through Friday for 2 hours every day and complete our discussion on Tableau Desktop. In the middle, we will plan for one session where you will look at Tableau Online. Okay, and that is about it. So if you have any questions during the course or after the course, you can always reach out to us. You can get in touch with the support team, or you can drop me an email ID, or you can also contact me through the WhatsApp group that is provided. You will be given access to a WhatsApp group for Tableau. So you will be able to get in touch with the trainers through the WhatsApp group. All right, so we do provide that kind of assistance. So with this understanding, let us go ahead and look at the agenda that we have for today. Today, we will be trying to understand the definition of data visualization, principles of data visualization, how do we install Tableau, and there is another tool called as Tableau Public, which is used, which is kind of a free version of Tableau Desktop. So what is it? Why is it used? We will see. We will also try to explore Tableau a little, the user interface. We will try to get familiar with the different sections on the Tableau user interface, namely the start page, the data source page, different components and terminologies we will try to get familiar with. We'll understand about something called as the Show Me panel. And finally, we'll look at the data types that Tableau supports. All right. So this is the agenda for today. At any point during the course, if you have any question, you can raise it through the chat window. All right. You can address it to all or you can address it to me. It's up to you. So I will take up the questions as and when they come today. From tomorrow onwards, I'll take up the questions at the end of every logical break point. Okay, once we come to the end of a topic, logically come to an end, I'll take up the questions. But today, since it is the first day, many of you might be having a lot of questions about the course or about what we are talking. So you can raise your questions, and as and when I see a question, I will read it out and answer. All right. So let's go ahead and look at what is data visualization. In a very simple way, if I have to tell you, we know that a picture speaks 1,000 words. There's a very famous saying, right? Picture speaks 1,000 words. So data visualization is a pictorial representation of the data, as simple as that. What could that pictures be? The ones that we create, they could be graphs, plots, maps, charts, views, viz. All right, so different names, no matter what you call it, ultimately it is a picture that is representing our data. So it is basically pictorial representation of the data. Yeah, yes, Tanuj. Each and every session is recorded and the recorded video will be provided to you by the next day. So suppose we complete the discussion today, by tomorrow morning, you will have access to the class recording in your AI Spray account. So you will all be given your login IDs to AI Spray, which is the learning management system of 360DigiTMG. When you log in there, you will find the batch corresponding to your, a folder corresponding to your batch. So you can go there and access the videos. The training material, that is the presentations which we are using in the training, and the data sources that we will be using for the hands-on activities, everything is provided in your learning management system portal. And every module has quiz questions that need to be attempted at the end of every module. You can do that. And from module 3 onwards, because first two modules are theoretical, as I told you, from module 3 onwards, there are hands-on activities. So assignments basically, which you can solve as in how we complete a module. You can start working on the assignments and keep solving them alongside. Don't try to keep them till the end of the course and then attempt it after the course is over. Keep doing them alongside, as in when we complete a module, try to attempt it, the assignments, and submit them. So what happens is, if you are stuck on any question in the assignments given to you, if you're not able to solve something, you're not able to understand a question, or you're not getting the desired solution, we can discuss it in the class. But that will happen only when you people attempt the assignments, try to solve them from your side, and then have a discussion with me. All right, so I will, as long as I am there, as long as the training is going on, you have access to the trainer and I will be able to solve it for you in the class, provided you attempt it from your side. Okay, so that kind of support I will provide. So make sure that you all complete your assignments by the time we reach the last day of our training and submit them on the last day. Last day of our training, all of you are supposed to submit your assignments without fail. After which you will be given access to the projects. And when you successfully complete the project given to you, the offline project, which you can do at your own pace and convenience, pace in the sense you will be given a timeline. It's not a live project is what I mean. Okay, you will get a project which you have to work on, and upon successful completion of that project, you will be given a live project which you will work with the employees of InnoDataTix. You will be working along with them on the live real-time projects that we solve. Okay, so that is how it is going to work. So what I would request is, today somebody will be joining the session from the team, and they might ask you to provide your email IDs or mobile numbers through which they can give you access to your LMS account, and specifically to the Tableau folder in your LMS account. Because I believe most of you are data science participants, you already have your account. Those of you who do not have an account, somebody would join very soon and they will collect your information. Okay, so by tomorrow evening, you all should get access to the training material. Okay. So why visualizations? Simple again. Why visualizations? Because we don't want to go through each and every record that is present in the database, all the data, scan through it, and then try to infer something out of it, which will help the business to take informed decisions. It is going to be a very tedious task, nearly an impossible task, at least in this era where we are talking about big data and data bursts is happening, right? To look at all those millions and millions of records of data and then try to draw inferences becomes impossible. So we instead go ahead and represent the data in a visual format, and those visualizations will talk to us, meaning they will tell us, when we look at them, we will be able to understand our data, we will be able to take informed decisions regarding the performance of the business. That is the basic understanding. Okay. Okay, the question is, I didn't do data science, so how are the opportunities for Tableau developers in the market? Is data science also required for this? Data science is not compulsory to be a Tableau developer. Okay, data science is not necessary. The extent to which you need to be aware of the statistical concepts and data science related things to work with Tableau, because Tableau is not just a visualization tool, it can do little bit of statistical analysis also. So all those concepts will be covered in detail in the course. So to whatever extent you need to know the concepts of data science to work on Tableau, to work with Tableau, all that is covered as a part of this course. Okay, you need not worry about it. Just for Tableau also, the opportunities are really good in the market. They have been increasing sixfold by the year, whereas opportunities for Power BI have been becoming double. Last 2 years, I think it's been like that. All right. So one thing that we need to remember when it comes to principles of data visualization. Now, this is something more theoretical here, but the practical application of all of these things, as I told you, we will be looking at once we start creating the graphs. We do not perceive absolutes, instead we perceive differences. So something is very similar, we try to ignore things. Okay, when something is completely different in contrast, that is what catches the attention of the end user. And I always tell, you need to be a little bit of an artist also, to work on data visualization tools. You may be an amazing scientist, right? But you also need to be a little bit of an artist to be able to present the data in a visually very appealing format. So this course is designed in such a way that we start at ground zero. It doesn't matter whether you are from data science background or you're from a non-technical background, or whether you're a student or you have never used any tools before. It doesn't matter. All of you will be treated the same. We start the course at ground zero so that every participant in the batch will be able to follow and catch up. Okay, so few things for the data science participants. You may feel that, okay, we have already covered these things and you may not need it so much in detail. However, we will be going in detail for the benefit of all the participants in the batch. Then, is SQL required? SQL is required. It has become kind of a mandate now. When you look at the job postings for Tableau, they say Tableau with SQL. So basic understanding of SQL, working knowledge of SQL is expected, that you should have it. And at 360DigiTMG, what happens is every quarter there is a session, that is a free session that is given out, free SQL training that is provided. It is quarterly, every quarter. Or you will also be given access to the SQL training videos, so you can get yourself trained on SQL as well with the support from the team, okay, to prepare yourself to work better on Tableau. Look at this visualization. Basically, this incorporates all the best practices and principles. One look at it, I know that it is talking about the injuries that have occurred on different body parts for players. So this is definitely talking about some game season, right? Super Bowl week. And the data point, the bubble there or the circle there, is telling us about the number of injuries. So we can see that a lot of injuries have occurred on the knee, and very few injuries on the arm, injuries on the elbow. So you can see the ratio, you can see the proportion. The size of the circle is indicating some data. All right. So you need to present the data on a visualization in such a format that it reduces the cognitive load on the human brain. It should reduce the cognitive load on the human brain. Anybody who sees it should be able to understand what we are trying to convey without much effort. That is the purpose. Goal of data visualization is to tell a story without telling lies. Now you might think, how do we tell a lie through a graph? How can we tell a lie through a view, through a chart? It is possible. All right. And we will be looking at different things that come under this concept of telling lies through data visualization, which we should ideally not do, but there are methods of doing it. We will be looking at it. Goal of data visualization is also to influence the decisions that are being taken by the management for the betterment of the organization, betterment of the business as a whole. It encourages the eye to make comparisons. Most of the questions that you encounter will be related to comparative analysis. Okay, just compare the performance of all the states. Which state is the most profitable? Look at the data sales happening across different products. Which product is contributing to very high sales? Which product is contributing to very low sales for my business? So comparison is very, very essential, and it is a very big umbrella. Many charts come under this umbrella of comparative analysis, beginning with bar graphs, side by side bars, heat maps. Okay, we have circle plots, we have bubble charts. So the list just goes on and on. There are many charts that are used for comparative analysis. We will be looking at most of them. Visual encoding of information allows humans to process more information, obviously, rather than looking at each and every record. We will represent it in a visual format, making invisible visible in the visualization. So things that people could maybe miss out, okay, in the normal analysis, we try to capture them in visual analysis. How so? We will be looking at with practical examples. Present many attributes in a small space, which is also called as maintaining a very good data ink ratio. In the given limited space, with a very small graph, you should tell your entire story, and that too so effectively that people should be able to take a decision using that data. Again, we will see this when we start doing the hands-on. There is one person called as Mr. Edward Tufte, who is considered to be the father of the data visualization principles. And he has done some amazing work in the field of data visualization, laid down a lot of principles and integrity rules. So the integrity rules laid down by Mr. Edward Tufte are: you have to minimize the lie factor. Do not tell a lie, even if you have to at least keep it to a minimum. Use consistent scales. Compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Use consistent scales. Standardize the monetary units wherever applicable. Whenever you're dealing with money, like profit, sales, monetary units should be provided and they should be standardized. Present the data in context. Don't beat around the bush. Go straight to the point and tell your users, or give your users, end users, the answer to the question that they are asking in a straightforward way. Show the data above all else, above everything else. Show your data. Data should be the hero of your graph, not the style, not the design aspects, not the beautification. It is necessary to some extent, but it should not overpower the data that we are trying to represent. Okay, so above everything else, show your data and maintain a good data ink ratio. So what are these? We will be looking at again in detail when we get into the hands-on part. So I think we will skip this slide. You can go back to this after a couple of weeks when we do a lot of charts in our training. You will be able to understand this. Now, let us directly get into what is Tableau with this background. Tableau, we know, is a tool that is used for data visualization, and data visualization, we know, is a process using which we represent the data in a pictorial format. Okay, these two should be clear, these 2 points. Now, Tableau has been in the leader's position in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for 7 and now 8 years, I think. Gartner's is a firm uh, who do a lot of research. They conduct surveys on different tools and technologies trending in the market, and they publish a quadrant every year. And Tableau has been able to maintain itself in the leader's position consistently for a very long time, which is not an easy position to hold. Other tools have been dropping down to other quadrants and then they come back to leaders quadrant, but Tableau is one tool which has maintained itself consistently as a leader. Definitely not an easy task to pull off. So it's very good with, and the popularity for Tableau is good. The opportunities for Tableau are good. Okay. Now coming to the most important part of today's discussion, which is how do you install Tableau and where do you install Tableau from? You can go to Tableau's official website, okay, tableau.com, and here you can see the list of products being offered by Tableau. All right, we are interested in Tableau desktop. So suppose you go to Tableau desktop and check for the pricing and specifications of that tool. That is where you will find information or details about how to purchase this tool. All right. Now, Tableau desktop actually comes as a bundle. It is bundled with Tableau Prep Builder, the tool which is used to clean the data. Okay, Tableau Prep Builder is a tool which we use to clean the data. And we don't really purchase, we are not given Tableau desktop license separately. What we purchase is the license for Tableau Creator. Okay, in case you intend to purchase the tool, you would be purchasing the license for Tableau Creator, which is going to cost you $70 US dollars per user per month. However, it is billed annually. Billed annually meaning you have to pay upfront for 1 year, which makes it a very expensive affair. So what do we do now? For training activities, it's not required for you to purchase Tableau Creator, not required, because Tableau people, they give Tableau desktop and Tableau Prep Builder for free for 14 days. 14 days. Okay, so you can start a free trial. When you click on start a free trial, the tool, it'll go here. You just have to give your email ID. It need not be business email. Even though it tells or asks you to provide business email, you can give any email ID, that is fine, and click on download free trial. Okay, you can hit the button to download the free trial. Tableau desktop will get downloaded on your machine, which you can start using. However, you will be able to use it only for 14 days. Only for 14 days. So what next? After I use the free trial for 14 days, then what do I do? Then what you do is, when you Google for Tableau desktop versions, the first link that will come up will take you to a website where you can see the different releases, different versions that were released by Tableau in the past. Currently, we are having version 2020.2. So when you download it today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you may download. Don't download it today. It's not required today. Tomorrow also, it's all theoretical, so not required. Day after tomorrow, when we start the hands-on, you will need it. So maybe you can Download it then. Under 2020.2, you can go with the latest. Okay, they are small bug fixes. You cannot use each of these tools for 14 days, only one under each category. So if you go to 2020.2, download the latest and use it for 14 days. After which, after you use it for 14 days, you can go down to 2020.1 and use it for 14 days. Okay, now usually after that, after 2020.1, what I would personally suggest to you is go down to 2018.1, download that, use it for 14 days, then download the higher version 2018.2. You can use it for 14 days. 2018.3, you can use it for 14 days, so on and so forth. Why am I saying go down and begin from a lower level? Is because workbooks that are created on an older version of Tableau, like 2018.1, if you have created a workbook, you can open it, it will get automatically upgraded to newer versions. Please try to understand this point, all of you. Workbooks which are created, when we create something in Tableau, it is called as a workbook. And a Tableau workbook that you create in 2018.1 can be opened on any version higher than 2018.1. Okay, on 2018.1 and anything above that, you can open the workbook. But workbooks that you create on a higher version, you may not be able to open them on lower versions. Here it is handled, but from 2019.4, when you create some workbook on 2019.4, you may not be able to open it on 2020.1. You may not, on 2019.3. You may not be able to open it on lower versions because upgrade happens automatically in Tableau. These days, with the latest release, even downgrade they are handling. However, when you go to very old versions, it doesn't happen. So to summarize, what I'm telling you is Tableau Desktop is a very expensive tool. However, Tableau people give the tool for a free trial of 14 days. So after using up the tool for 14 days, you just check the different versions of Tableau that are available. Download each version, use it for 14 days. That way you would be extending your time with the tool Tableau Desktop to a very long duration. What you ideally would probably get only for 14 days, you are now getting it for multiple 14 days, each version for 14 days. Okay, but my personal recommendation is now you can install the latest version, but at a later point of time, start at a lower version like 2018.1 and go up. Start at 2018.1 and go up from there. Okay, now what if that is also over? Because this will give us 14 days, 14 days, 14 days, 14 days, fine. Maybe 3 months or 4 months we will get, or 5 months we will get using these different versions. Let's say we got 5 or 6 months. But after that, what do we do? Right? How do you continue your training or your practice on Tableau? Is you can use something called as Tableau Public. Now, Tableau Public is a free alternative version, free version of Tableau Desktop itself. I'll send you all the links on the chat. Yeah, if you have student license, perfect. Then you can use Tableau Desktop, you can use Tableau Prep Builder, everything for 1 year. Okay, the link that I sent you right now on the chat window is for Tableau Public. Tableau Public is a free software that is given out by Tableau people, which is like a counterpart of part of Tableau Desktop. For training, it is enough. Now, having said that, it is just like Tableau Desktop, which is given out for free. Now, when we have something that we are getting for free, why would we purchase the license for Tableau Desktop? I'm sure all of you have that question in your mind. Because it is free, there are a few limitations. Now, nobody will give everything for free, right? It is free, but it comes with a few limitations. It comes with a few limitations. What are those limitations? I will tell you in detail in the next module. All right. So for now, you can use Tableau desktop different versions, after which you can continue your work with Tableau by using Tableau public. What are the differences? We will discuss in detail when we come to that, when we get to that concept in module 2. Another thing is, suppose any of you is a student pursuing your graduation or post graduation or anything above graduation and above, then you will be able to get Tableau for free for 1 year. The license for Tableau Creator, which is desktop and prep builder bundled together with Tableau online or server, one license per server. You get that for free for 1 year. You can apply for a student license, which you will get for free for 1 year. So all you have to do is go to the link which I sent you on the chat window. Please create a notepad for the training and you save all the links and whatever text I'm going to send you on the chat. You can save it. Okay. Get Tableau for free. When you click on it, you will be prompted to enter your details in a form. Once you provide your details there, Tableau people will get back to you by providing you the license key. Okay, you just have to submit and they will get back to you with the key. They may ask you for a copy of your ID card. It may be anybody from your family also. You can apply on their name and use it, or any of your friends or family or somebody in your circle. All right, so now this link of different versions of Tableau also I'm going to share on the chat window. So I'm sending you 3 links. The first link is for Tableau public. Second link is if you're a student or know anybody who's a student, you can apply for the license, which comes for free for 1 year. The license that you get is Tableau Creator license. Then the next link is for different versions of Tableau. Download 2020.2, then 2020.1. However, after that, go down to 2018.1, then go up from there. All right. What else? Regarding installation, this would be it. And there's another tool called as Tableau Reader. We will talk about it a little later. But if you want, you can download this also. You will need it a little later. Tableau Desktop is free for students, provided it is a full-time program from a college or a university, not from a training institute. Okay. Okay, any questions on what we have discussed so far? Okay, I don't see any questions coming up. System requirements. Earlier it used to support 32-bit. Now with the latest version can be installed only on a 64-bit machine. 4 GB RAM, 64-bit machine. That is the requirement. If you have student version, that is nothing but Tableau Desktop. Okay, so that is sufficient. You don't need anything else. No, let's go to official Tableau website. Okay, so you have the technical specifications that are given for Tableau desktop. 2 GB only memory apparently, but a 4 GB would be good. And it should be a 64-bit machine. On 32-bit machine, somehow they have stopped the support. Earlier it was supported, now it is no longer being supported. Okay, and if it's Mac, then these are the requirements. So let us go ahead and look at the different products which Tableau people offer and try to understand the products in the Tableau product suite. So first is Tableau desktop, which is basically the authoring tool where we create the visualizations. Okay, so Tableau desktop, we can call it as the authoring tool where we create the visualizations. So most of our work is going to be on Tableau desktop. That is the main thing. Then there is something called as Tableau public, which is a free version of Tableau desktop with a few limitations. With a few limitations here and there. What are those limitations? As I told you, I'll point it out. Then comes Tableau prep. Prep is short form for preparation. Tableau prep, where prep is the short form for preparation, means it will help you to prepare your data for analysis. It is basically a tool that is used to clean the data, combine data coming from multiple data sources or files, shape the data. Okay, so cleaning, combining, shaping, all these are taken care of by Tableau prep. We can do all these activities even on Tableau desktop. However, a new tool called as prep was introduced by Tableau people 2 or 3 years back, which is used primarily for cleaning the data. All right, next. Now let us say we used Tableau desktop and we created some visualizations, we created some graphs, some charts, and now we want to share it with a very large group of audience. How will you share it? Right, in a secure manner. All right, you have created workbooks, Tableau workbooks, by using Tableau desktop with a lot of reports in it. Now you would like to share those reports in a very secure manner with a lot of people. You want to just give it out for mass consumption, however, in a secure manner. Not like I'll just give it like that. Then we need to upload it to Tableau server. Okay, that is where Tableau server will come into picture, which is a sharing and collaborating platform. So Tableau server is mostly, it could be on-premise, means you purchase a machine, okay, that meets the configuration requirements of a Tableau server. You purchase a physical machine, you install Tableau server in it, you appoint a person who will take care of that machine and which is acting as Tableau server. Getting it? So Tableau server means a physical machine is there, which is acting as the server, where you will upload all your work, where you will just upload all your work, and from that machine other people will access it. They will connect to it, they will do connect to their accounts on their machine, and they will be able to access it. So think of it like that. It's going to be a slightly costly affair again, because you need to have a machine which is like high-end, which can be compatible with Tableau server. You need to purchase the license for Tableau server, which is again very expensive. You need to recruit a person, a Tableau server administrator, who will monitor the server periodically, take care of everything pertaining to server. So it's going to be a costly affair. Not every company would want to look for such a costly solution, would not opt for it. So then Tableau people, they said, let's give a easier solution for sharing and collaborating. Let's create something that people can access easily and afford also. Even small scale and medium scale companies should be able to afford it. Let's make it affordable. So Tableau people said, we'll make it affordable for you. And they introduced Tableau Online, which is cloud-based solution for Tableau server. So it is a cloud or platform. It's a cloud platform of Tableau server. Means what? There is no physical machine which we are treating as Tableau server. You are allocated some space on the cloud. You will be allocated some space on the Tableau online cloud, which is monitored and maintained and taken care of by Tableau people themselves. You will just be given some space there, 500 GB. Okay, where you can just upload all your reports and give access to your end users in a very secure manner again. Means to certain people, you will probably want to give only view access. You can do that. To certain people, you probably want to give them edit access. You can do that. To some people, you probably want to give them full control. You can do that. So in a very secure manner, we will be sharing the work that we created with the end users, with the clients through Tableau Online, which is a cloud-based version of Tableau server, on the cloud solution for Tableau server. Okay. Then comes Tableau Reader. The name itself is probably ringing a bell, right? Tableau Reader. Reader means read only. Now let's say you have created a workbook on Tableau desktop. Okay, please try to understand this scenario. Let's say you have created a workbook on Tableau desktop and you sent it in an email to a friend of yours. To open that workbook, that person also will need to have Tableau desktop. But Tableau desktop is very expensive. We cannot ask them to purchase the license. So what do? You can ask your friend or the other user to download Tableau Reader, which is again a free tool. On Tableau Reader, the other person with whom you shared your workbook created on Tableau desktop will be able to open it on Tableau Reader. The other person will be able to open it on Tableau Reader and view or read it. They will not be able to create anything new. They will not be able to edit what you have created. They can only see what you have created and interact with it. So that is the purpose of Tableau Reader. It is a read-only tool which is provided for free. I think this is enough for today. We will discuss further about it. Okay. So these are the main components. Then there is something called as Tableau Mobile, which is an app available on both Android and iOS platforms. Using Tableau Mobile, you can access your Tableau online account from anywhere, and you can look at the visualizations from anywhere you want on your mobile phone. Okay, so these are the main products that you need to be aware of, which are present in the Tableau product suite. Yeah. So any questions on any of these tools? I mean, we will get into the details of each and every tool, but at a very high level, is it clear what are the tools and what is the application? In one word, what is the application of each of the tools? So the moment I say Tableau desktop, you know it is a tool that we are going to work on. It is authoring tool. You create things there, you author, you create. Public, just a free alternative of desktop, but it comes with a few limitations because it is free. Prep, for preparation, prepare your data. Server, you go and save your work on server. Tableau Online, cloud-based solution given for Tableau server, cloud version of Tableau server. Reader, as the name itself is saying, read-only tool. Mobile is for free. Tableau mobile app is for free. You have to log into your Tableau online account or Tableau server account and you can view the visualizations, or if it is something that is public, some general things you can open on Tableau mobile. But Tableau mobile app as such is free. The Tableau mobile app you can download and use it for free. To some extent, Vijay, very, very limited capability you have. So mostly we will use it for view purpose. Mostly we will use it for read only. So to view the visualizations on the go, you can use Tableau mobile. Okay, I'll pause for a minute here and then we will proceed with our discussion. So if you have any questions, let me know. No, there are opportunities for freshers also, though rare. It is a little rare. Usually 1 or 2 years experience they're asking for these days. But they will be, sometimes you do get openings for freshers also. But with this course, and because you will be working on live project, which no other training institute provides. Okay, everybody, they will give you assignments and they will give you one final project, one normal project. But the advantage here is you get to work on a live project. It doesn't matter from which domain you are, even if you're from non-technical background. Okay, you get to work on a live project in the industry, in the organization, in the company. So you can put up 2 years of experience. Okay, it's off the record, but you can put up 1 or 2 years of experience depending on your confidence level and depending on how well you invest your time into mastering the tool. You can put 2 years of experience. That's not. Can this be integrated with any business applications? Through Tableau server, we can do the integration. See, which industries are asking for Tableau is the question. Ultimately, it is a data visualization tool. Okay. Now, BI, business intelligence platform, is huge. It spans across all the industries and across all the domains. Practically, there is no industry which is not touched by BI. So you will all have to be on mute. Right, you will agree, right? Practically, there is no industry that is not touched by the BI, business intelligence platform. Take food industry. Nobody ever thought that there would be a revolution in food industry and BI will have its impact on food industry. Now we have apps, we have Swiggy, we have Uber Eats. It's not just the app, okay? It's that they do a lot of analysis towards giving you the options. Now when you log in to Swiggy or Uber Eats or any of the food providers like Zomato, etc., depending on the time at which you log in, also you get different options with slightly different rates and slightly different discounts. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it is different. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when you're extremely hungry and you just want to eat something and you need food delivered, the cost will go up. So it is to that extent. So BI has its presence everywhere: fashion industry, food industry, transportation, anywhere, not just banking, finance, or healthcare. It has its presence everywhere. So it doesn't matter in which domain you people are working, any of you. So when you talk about business intelligence, no matter which path you traverse, again, you, how you are traversing there, ultimately it boils down to presenting your analysis in the form of a report. Okay, it doesn't matter where you're working in BI. Ultimately, it boils down to presenting your analysis in the form of a dashboard or a report. That is where these dashboarding tools or reporting tools or visualization tools like Tableau and Power BI, ClickView, ClickSense, and many other tools in the market, they come into picture. Okay. So if you ask me where, in which industry, which domain, I would say everywhere. Wherever you think BI can have an impact, Tableau will have its presence. Okay. Okay, see, your name is coming as Dell here. You might want to rename yourself or let me know your name, because otherwise I'll not be able to address you personally. Anyway, you will get that kind of support from the team. Okay, job placement assistant or resume building assistance, all these things you will get from the team. So you can check with whoever is your point of contact, whoever is your salesperson or your point of contact, and confirm what kind of support you will get. Okay. Vijayan, it supports ODBC connection. Yes, it does. Tableau supports ODBC connection. There are certifications. Next question is certifications. Yeah, there are 3 levels of certifications which Tableau people conduct to test our knowledge on Tableau. So the first level is actually being given out at a discount of 50% these days, and the offer is only up to 30th of June. Okay, there are 3 levels. There is Tableau Desktop Specialist, the first level, very primary, very basic level. Then there is Tableau Desktop Certified Associate, and there's Tableau Desktop Certified Professional. These are the 3 levels at which Tableau people themselves conduct the certification. Now, Desktop Specialist is going to be very simple. With this training, I give you 100% guarantee you will be able to clear it, provided you pay attention in the class and you work on the quizzes and assignments given to you. Okay. Now, when you take up Tableau Desktop Specialist, which is currently testing on 2020.1 version of Tableau, there is no expiration date. Once you clear the certification, you are a Tableau Desktop Specialist forever. Okay. However, how much weightage will it add to your profile? I would say not much. Not much. Okay, because everybody in the industry knows that this is a very basic level which people with just about 3 months of experience also can clear. Okay. So if you ask me, is this going to bring a lot of weightage to my profile and my resume when I say I'm a Tableau Desktop Specialist? I would say not so much. But you can attempt it because there's also a discount and it's being given away at just $50. It's your wish, okay, whether or not you want to take it up. But the next level of certification, which is Tableau Desktop Certified Associate, has good weightage. In fact, if you check the job portals, some people who give out the requirements, who put the job openings, they say they are looking for Tableau Desktop Certified Associates, active Tableau Desktop Certified Associates. Certification is not sequential. You can take up specialist if you want. You can take up directly certified associate if you want. There are no prerequisites for Tableau Desktop Specialist or Desktop Certified Associate. There are no prerequisites. So you can directly take them up. All right. Now, Certified Associate, don't take it easy. After the course is over, after you have worked on the assignments, after you have worked on the projects, after you think you are 100% confident, only then attempt it, because it's not that easy to clear. You will get all the necessary support. You will be taught everything in the class to clear the certification. All the concepts are being covered. At least 90% of them are being covered. However, it ultimately depends on how much effort you put from your side. Okay. I have seen people with 2 years experience also think that this is going to be very easy and they did not clear it. And I have seen people who take this training and just a month later they email me saying we have cleared the certification. So it also depends on how much effort you people put in from your side. But we are going to give you everything that you need. The knowledge wise, the knowledge transfer will happen in the training, but it all depends on how well you apply end of the day. Fee is a little expensive. It is $250, and once you pay the fee it is not refundable, and you get only one attempt. God forbid you don't clear it the first time, you have to pay $250 again to take the second attempt. So only one attempt. That is why make sure that you are well prepared. Okay. There's an exam preparation guide which will tell you about where you can get an idea about the type of questions that are asked in the certification. It's actually too early to discuss all these things because there's a question on certification. I'm telling you, don't get worried, don't get overwhelmed, don't panic. We will be actually looking at all this. We will actually solve one question paper in the class. Okay, so you'll get an understanding of how to attempt, what should be your approach towards different questions, etc. Okay, 75% passing score, 36 questions will be asked, 18 theoretical, 18 hands-on. Each hands-on will have 4 marks. Each theoretical depends on the type of answers, number of answers. Good thing is it is objective type. It is objective type without negative marking on top of that. Objective type without negative marking. So you can take it up whenever you want. You can book a slot at your own comfort and convenience. Whenever you think you're ready, you can take up. You can take it up from your home. It's just that you have to be alone in the room where you're taking the exam. Nobody else should be present along with you. So we'll do this. Okay, when we get to that part on certification, we'll do it. The last level of certification is Tableau Desktop Certified Professional. Now there is a prerequisite for this. The prerequisite to attempt Desktop Certified Professional is you should be an active Desktop Certified Associate. Now, what does it mean? Active Desktop Certified Associate is the Desktop Certified Associate license that you get when you clear the exam is valid only for 2 years, which means after every 2 years you have to take the exam again, renew your license to remain a Tableau Desktop Certified Associate. Otherwise your license will expire. You will no longer be a certified associate. So you should be an active certified associate to take up certified professional. That is subjective, means you will be given requirements, 3 hours duration. You will have to work on the requirements, solve them, create reports and dashboards and stories. Okay, so just a basic overview because there was a question on certification, but I will give you an in-depth understanding of certifications when we get to that module. Any further questions on whatever we have discussed so far? I'm sending you the link even for this certification thing. You can save it in the notepad. I sent you the text also pertaining to the Tableau products that are there. You can save that also in one notepad. So I request you all to maintain one notepad for ad hoc things that I will send you through the chat window. You can copy and maintain one notepad for it. All right. So I don't see any more questions coming up. Next thing we have to look at is basically Tableau user interface itself. So when you download and install Tableau, you will get an icon like this. This is the icon for Tableau Prep Builder. Whenever you install, you will get it. Now that is available only for 14 days. So don't install it until and unless you think you're 100% ready to practice on it, because there is no other alternative for Tableau Prep. Like Tableau Desktop has a free version called as Tableau Public, right? Okay, Tableau Desktop has a free version, Tableau Public. Tableau Prep does not have any such thing. Tableau Desktop, you can use it for 14 days, different versions, each version for 14 days. With Tableau Prep, you don't have such things. So the only 14 days that you get are going to be very precious. Okay, and the only other way you can access it if you have used up the 14 days is by purchasing the license for Tableau Creator. Therefore, don't download it now. When you are ready to practice on Tableau Prep after you go through the recording on data cleaning and all, then only you download it. So you can download Tableau Public if you want. You can have everything multiple versions also on your machine at any given point of time. So when you have installed Tableau, when you finally install Tableau, when you double click and open it, you will get a page like this. Okay, here, let's take a break for 5 minutes. After the break, we will start discussing about the Tableau home page or the start page. Okay, so I will see you after 5 minutes. Quick 5 minutes break, come back and we will discuss further. Thank you. Per PC, Tanuj. They track us down by the IP address, I think. So it's not per email ID, it's per PC. For Tableau desktop and for Tableau prep, it is per PC, you can say. Per IP address, I think, more specifically. But Tableau online, you can use it with different email IDs. You can keep using it for 14 days. Tableau online, that is a different thing. All right. Hello everyone, hope you're all back. So we will start our discussion now. Okay. No, if you have student license, it will work on Tableau desktop and it will work with Tableau prep also. You don't need anything else. If you have Tableau desktop license, you don't need to be worried about anything. Okay. If you have student license. For people who do not have student license or Tableau desktop license, who will be relying on different versions of Tableau and on Tableau public subsequently, I was telling that for Tableau prep, there is no such option. For Tableau prep, that tool, there is no such option. All right. So the moment we log into Tableau means once we not log in as such, once you open Tableau, once you open the application Tableau, you are presented with something called as the start page. The start page, which is also called as the welcome screen or the home page. Welcome screen or the home page. Now, when you look at it, it is divided into three sections. At a very high level, we can notice that it is divided into three sections. You have a dark blue colored section on the left side, which is called as the connect section. Then there will be one huge blank space here called as open. First time when you open your Tableau desktop tool, it will be blank. So what is the purpose of this section is as and when you create workbooks and when you save them, as and when you are creating workbooks and when you keep saving them, they will come up as a small thumbnail here, which you can open very easily with just one click. Click on it and you will be able to open it. Click on the workbook and the workbook will get opened. So to quickly open a workbook. Otherwise, you can just click on open a workbook, navigate to the place where you have saved the workbook earlier and open it. In case you want to open a workbook that is already created by you, or if you have it on your machine, or you go to the file menu and select open, just like in any other application. To open an existing document, you will go to file and open, right? Same thing here also with Tableau. Then on the extreme right hand side, we see something called as discover. Okay, discover is basically like training section. Small bite-sized videos of Tableau are uploaded here. Very basic videos. So these are provided by Tableau people themselves. In fact, we cover all of them and in much more detail in the training that we are going to have. Then you will find something called as resources and forums. So a couple of weeks later, okay, I would recommend that you go to forums and you create an account for yourself on Tableau forum, try to get enrolled. People are very active on the forum and they, day in and day out, the kind of challenges that they face or what requirements they are working on. If they need any help, they keep posting there. So you get to understand a lot about the real-time scenarios of where Tableau is being used and how it is being used, what kind of challenges people are facing, etc. Then, if there is any new update of Tableau that is released, okay, you will get a message on the bottom right corner in orange color. Tableau is telling us update to 2020.2.1 now. I have 2020.2, that was the initial version. Then 2020.2.1 got released. So it's telling me, do you want to update? I have not yet updated because 2020.3 is going to be released very soon. I thought I'll update once that is released. Okay. So three sections: connect, open, discover. All right. Where do we find these sections? On the start page or the home page, also called as the welcome screen. As simple and trivial as it might appear to you that I'm mentioning and stressing on these things, you can expect a question on certification. Okay, on this page, you can expect a question in the certification on this page. Where is the connect section? What does it do? Or what is the purpose of the open section? What is the purpose of discover section? All right, so you need to know, you need to be aware of these three sections. Now, what happens when we work on, let us say, Excel? So even if you have not worked on Excel, I'm sure all of you might have opened an Excel document at some time or the other. You might have at least seen an Excel, which is a spreadsheet. Let's draw a small analogy between Excel and Tableau. So the moment I try to open an Excel workbook, you see I'm presented with the worksheet. This is called as worksheet, and this is specifically sheet 1. I'm already on the canvas, on the worksheet where I can do my work. After this is done, suppose I have to open a new worksheet, then I will have to click on the new sheet icon. I'm on worksheet 1. Directly the moment I opened the Excel workbook, Tableau gave me worksheet 1 where I was able to do my work. And now I decide to open a new worksheet in the same workbook. So I have to click on the new sheet icon, plus sign there. So when I click on plus sign, I'm on sheet 2 and I can do my work here. Finally, when I decide to save all these worksheets created here, what is it saved as? It gets saved when you go to the file menu and choose to save as. It gets saved as an Excel workbook. Excel workbook with some extension to it, and it basically contains whatever worksheets I have created there, right? Tableau follows pretty much the same paradigm. In Tableau also we create different worksheets, and ultimately when we save the worksheets, it is called as a workbook. All right. However, in Tableau, the moment you open Tableau, you're not directly taken to the worksheet. We are not directly taken to the canvas or the view pane or the worksheet. We are taken to the home page or the welcome screen or the start page. From here in Tableau, to be able to reach the canvas and do anything on the canvas, it is compulsory that you should have established connection with an input data source. So until and unless you establish connection with an input data source in Tableau, there is no point proceeding further. We cannot do anything. So first and the foremost requirement in Tableau, remember, is to get connected to a data coming from any data source. Tableau has that on that front, it is quite good. It can connect to practically hundreds of data sources. So let's say it can connect to something as simple as a text file, Excel, Access, PDF, spatial files, statistical files, to something as big and complex as Hadoop. Okay, so you can see the list is quite extensive. The different data sources that we can connect to from within Tableau, when you look at the list, it is quite extensive. Let's say your data is on Oracle. Okay, your data is on Oracle. How will you connect to data present on the Oracle data server or the database? Is just all you have to do is one click on Oracle, enter the name of the server to which you're trying to get connected, authenticate yourself by providing the username and password, sign in, job done. You will have access to data coming from that particular Oracle server. Let's say your data is on Salesforce. What to do? If the name of that database is present in this list, all you have to do is one click, sign in, job done. You have access to data present in that Salesforce server. You're getting it right? So if the name of any database is present in this list, it means Tableau is compatible with that data source. Tableau will be able to work with that data source. Now, what if your client data is on some data source whose name does not appear in this list? I have my client data on some machine, on some server, data server. Name of that data source or name of that database, name of that data server does not appear in this list. Then what to do? Then Tableau people have given us ODBC. Open database connectivity option. And there is also JDBC, which is Java Database Connectivity. So you can try, if your database is built on a Java platform, you can try JDBC. If your database is something else generic, then you can try ODBC. Okay, by providing the name of the data source or providing the name of the driver and then authenticating yourself with the valid login credentials. If you are able to connect to that data source, or if you're able to sign into that data source, job done. Okay, let us say you tried ODBC option, you tried JDBC option, everything you tried, but you're not able to connect to any particular data source using any of these options. Okay, if at all the name of the data source does not appear in this list and you have tried ODBC, that did not work, and it is not a Java based data source, or you tried JDBC, it did not work, then what to do? Then we cannot do anything, the story ends there. Then you will have to report to your client that, sir, the database is not compatible with Tableau, we cannot connect to it from Tableau. It's nearly a 0% chance. I personally encountered this with MongoDB. MongoDB got integrated in some version of 10. Prior to that, it was not available here. And even using the ODBC option, we were not able to connect to MongoDB. So we had to tell the client that it's not compatible. But otherwise, after that, till date, I have never, or I have not even heard anybody say that they were not able to connect to some data source using Tableau, and MongoDB got integrated. So that problem also got resolved. All right. So is this concept clear? The name of the database comes here when Tableau is compatible with that database. Okay, can we connect to Python? Yes. We cannot directly connect to Python from Tableau. We do it through calculated fields. So we will discuss Tableau connectivity with R in the class. Tableau connectivity with Python, you have a webinar recording that is there. You can go through that. So which credentials should we provide for Salesforce? No, that will be given by your client, right? Let us say you're working in some organization, you're working for some client, and the client has saved that client has saved the data on Salesforce. Then they will give you the login credentials to access the data. Okay, you will log in and access it. So that these credentials are supposed to be given by the client whose data we are going to use to create the reports. Clear? Regarding credentials and regarding connection to Python. Please respond. Is it clear? Is your question clarified? Because your name is coming as Dell. I cannot address you personally. Okay. Now, how do we connect to data? We have seen if it's on a server, you just select the server name, authenticate yourself and sign into that server. What if the data is on files present on your own local machine? Let's say you have data in an Excel. Then how do you connect to it? Select the file type here, like Microsoft Excel. Then you can navigate to the place where you have saved the file, select it and hit open. So we choose the the data source to which we want to connect to on the home page. Once you choose the database or the file and you tell Tableau that this is the database or this is the data source or this is the file that you would like to connect to, okay, you are brought to the next page, which is called as the data source page. Tableau can be hosted only on Tableau server. Sivaramakrishna, you can download Tableau desktop latest version 2020.2. Use it for 14 days. At least during the training, better that we are all on the same page. Later, you can install Tableau Public after the training is over to continue your practice. Okay. Latest version you install. Latest, because I'm using 2020.2. It will be easier if all of us are on the same page. and use 2020.2. Okay. Are the webinars also part of these sessions? See, 30 hours given to us for the training program, whatever is there in the syllabus, we will cover. Everything we will cover. Okay. And then what the team, what we do here at 360DigiTMG is we conduct 2 extra sessions, webinars every month on different topics, which are also recorded, and you are given access to those webinars also. The ones that were conducted in the past and the ones that we are going to conduct in the future, anyways, you will be attending. Getting it? So the webinars that I'm talking about are the webinars which are basically recorded videos which were conducted live to the participants. So they are recorded and they are posted in the repository. Clear? Which you can go through at any time you want. Because this end of the day 30 hours that we get, and we are trying to cover extensively as much as possible all the important aspects we touch upon, but each and every nitty-gritty thing we cannot cover, right? So we plan webinars every month on the latest topics and additional examples on existing topics. Okay. So that way you kind of keep in touch with the latest happenings also. So let us say a new version gets released, immediately there'll be a webinar covering the latest concepts that were introduced or latest features that were introduced in the tool in that release. That way. And additional examples on extra on whatever we cover. Okay, so let's go. So once we tell Tableau what is the data source we are interested in working with, we are taken to the next page, which is called as the data source page. Now we are going to discuss about different things that are available on the data source page. Okay. Here on the left side, you can see the name of the data source that you're connected to. The name of the data source I'm connected to is Sample Superstore. You can see that it is of type Microsoft Excel. Okay. And you can see the list of sheets present in that data source which appear here. Here again, I have to make one point. Any requirement that you're working on, any project, any tool for that matter, any data visualization requirement on any data visualization tool, there are 4 things that we need to understand. We need to understand the requirement itself, which this I think all of you will agree with me, no doubt. Until and unless we have a clarity of what is it that we are trying to achieve, there is no point proceeding further. So we need to know and understanding thoroughly. We need to understand the requirement. What is the question? What is the requirement? Second, equally important thing which people usually undermine is to understand the data. Get as good understanding about the data that you will be working on as you get for the requirement that you will be working on. Very important to understand the data. Okay. Then you need to understand or know your audience. Audience meaning end users or business users. People who will actually look at the reports that you have generated and take decisions based on it, or gauge the performance of their business based on the reports that you provide. People who are going to ultimately interact with your report. Try to understand, think from their perspective also. Because we will not be creating the same report for the CEO of an organization and for, let's say, a sales representative in that organization, right? For a CEO, you need to give the entire summary of the whole organization. For the sales representative, that person's performance against his or her designated goals, goal or target. That person's progress against his peers' performance or progress. So that kind of reporting is what they will expect. You will not show the entire, profit and loss statement of the organization to a sales representative. So depends on the audience also, what kind of reports we create. And finally, we need to know which chart to use when. Because by the end of this course, you would have learned so many ways of representing the data visually. You would have learned so many charts, so many graphs, so many maps. On the last day, if you are not able to answer which chart to use when, then there is no point of conducting the training or attending the training. So every chart, when we learn, we need to understand when to create this chart, under what circumstances, or for what scenarios, for which type of requirements. We need to get an understanding of that. Because given a requirement, if 10 charts pop up in our mind, 10 ways of visually representing the data for that requirement comes up in our mind, we should be able to pick up the best possible way of presenting it visually. So that is another area that we need to focus on, which we will be focusing on. Okay, so these are the 4 things which are important for any data visualization project, not just for Tableau, any tool. Now, so let us go ahead and understand the data that we will be using extensively for most of the hands-on activities in our training, that is sample superstore. So sample superstore is basically a transactional database which stores information about the transactions happening with superstore. Every transaction has a unique number. Every row in this database has a unique number given to it. That is how the rows are recognized, through row ID. Okay, and what is it that they sell? What are the transactions happening is, they sell different types of products. They sell different types of products like bookcases, chairs, tables, furnishings, storage units, phones, binders, appliances, etc., etc. They sell different types of products. Now, similar products come together to form a subcategory. Similar products are grouped together and they form a subcategory. Like you see here, different types of tables that are being sold here, they belong to tables group or tables subcategory. Similar type of subcategories come together to form a category. Similar category subcategories come together to form a category, like bookcases, chairs, tables, and furnishings all belong to furniture. They are basically different types of furniture items, right? So they belong to the furniture category. So how is the data organized in this databases? We record the name of the category and the subcategory and the product, everything. So there is a parent-child relationship between the members. If you think of category as the parent, subcategory are the child members. If you think of each subcategory as the parent, then the products being sold under it become the child members, that way. So there is the top-down breakdown. There is that approach. Okay, hierarchical data is there. Now, when people come and they tell that, okay, I want to purchase bookcase, when a person comes in, let us say this person is interested in purchasing a bookcase. So what happens is an order ID is generated. An order ID is generated, and date when the order is created is recorded in the order date field. How is that particular order being shipped out to the customer is recorded in the ship mode field. When is it going to be shipped out is recorded in the ship date field. Along with this, of course, the customer information is taken, like who is the customer, what is the name of the customer, which segment would the customer belong to, is it an individual consumer, is it a big corporate giant, are they purchasing for their corporate office, or is it a smaller office like home office? Smaller offices called as home office. Every customer is given a unique ID with which the customer is recognized, because names could be ambiguous. We cannot say that every customer should have a unique name. Names could be repetitive. Names could be ambiguous. So IDs are used to very uniquely recognize the customers. Then the address of the customer, country, state, city, postal code, where they belong to, all this information is also recorded in the database. Okay. Now this is all kind of categorical information. Who is the customer? How did they, how are they, what is the ship mode that they have chosen to receive the shipment? What did they order? It's all kind of categorical information. Then we come to quantitative information. Quantitative meaning, what is the sales value associated with that transaction? How many products did they purchase? If they say that we want a bookcase, is it one bookcase or multiple bookcases, 2 or 3 or 4? So the number of products ordered is under quantity. Whether or not any discount was given on that transaction is entered or recorded in the discount column. What is the profit we made by performing, or by from that transaction? Was it profitable? At least, is it even profitable or loss? Because it's not necessary that every transaction should give us a profit. Some of them could be giving us a loss, and we are happy with it because we just probably want to just sell it off. So depending on the discount, there could be profit, there could be loss. Means what? Profit is a column that can have both positive and negative values, whereas the other columns, they cannot have negative values, only positive. And when it comes to discount, 0 and above, nothing below 0. So this is the data that we will be primarily dealing with. Then there is another worksheet in the same workbook, in the same data source, called as returns. When an order that is placed by the customer is returned to the business, no, not every order will be accepted, right? Some people, if they don't like it, they return it. So when they return it, the order ID is captured in the returns worksheet. And there is one status field called as return, which tells that yes, this order has been returned. Yes. Then there is one worksheet named as people, which has the names of the regional sales managers of Superstore. Okay. This is the data that we are going to be dealing with. Now, when we get connected to the data source in Tableau, what happens? We are taken to the data source page, where we can see the list of all the worksheets or tables present in that data connection. And to start using the data from any of these worksheets, to start building the reports using the data present in these sheets or tables, we have to drag it and drop it here. Drag it and drop it here in this area. So let me drag and drop. Once you drag and drop it here, you will be able to see a preview. You will be able to get a preview of that data in this section, which is called as the data grid. So where are we? We are on the data source page, or data source tab or page, where we can see the name of the data source that we are connected to and the worksheets or tables present in it. When we drag and drop any particular worksheet here, we get to see the data. We get a preview of the data on the data grid. It's called as data grid. What is present on the data grid is not just the data. Along with the data, we also get a visual cue to the data type of that field. Visual cue to the data type of that field. What does it mean? So you can get a preview of the data. Along with that, what is it that we are seeing? There is one hash symbol here. Hash mark is a visual cue representing that the data is numeric. ABC is a visual cue representing that the data is alphanumerical. Alphabetical, alphanumerical, combination of alphabets, special characters, numbers, any such things are treated as string data. String, ABC represents string. Then there is calendar. Calendar is a visual cue representing that the data is date. The data in that field is date. Okay. So it's like this. If you see a hash mark, it indicates numeric data. Under numeric, it could be of type decimal, or it could be whole number. Whole number means without decimals. Whole number means something without decimals. Then when you see the visual cue as ABC, it is indicating alphabetical, alphanumerical, or alphabets plus numbers plus special characters. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you have alphabets in combination with anything else, it is considered to be string data. So this is string. Then when you see a calendar icon, as I told you, it means it is date. So you see this is whole number because it's row ID, right? You can have one row or two rows or three rows. You cannot have 1.5 rows, 1.5 rows, 1.256 rows. Such things not possible. Decimals will not make sense. When it comes to row ID, decimals will not make sense. And Tableau is intelligent enough to understand that this is a whole number. ABC means, as I told you, it is a visual cue for string. Calendar means it is a visual cue for date. It is a visual cue for date. What if you want to change the data type? How to change the data type in Tableau? How to change the data type? To change the data type, all you have to do is click on the visual cue, and choose whatever data type you think is more appropriate. So let's say here I want to make it date and time. I want to make it date and time. Then what happens? You see the visual cue for the data type of date and time, calendar plus clock. Calendar plus clock is a visual cue for date as well as time. It has taken default time because we don't have time actually. It is wrong to change the data type in this case. However, I went ahead and did it. So it's taking the default time of 12 a.m. I'll just make it date again. Okay. Then along with this, other data types that it supports is Boolean data. Boolean data means true or false kind of information. And if there is any data that contains geographical information, data set will be given to you. Today only theory. So if you see globe icon as the visual cue, it means this field contains geographical data. Geographical data which can be represented on a geographical map. Okay, now how does Tableau know that this is geographic? That we will discuss when we get to the discussion on geographic maps in Tableau. Okay, when we get to geographical maps, that time we will discuss about it. So these are the data types which Tableau supports, and Tableau will automatically try to recognize the data type of the field depending on the data, and it will assign a data type. If you think Tableau did not do the right job, you can always go ahead and change the data type to whatever you think is more appropriate. Okay, that option is always there. Now, here there are a few more things that we can do. You can rename the field. Now let us say sometimes what happens is in databases the names are not so self-explanatory, like ship mode and ship date and order date. Sometimes they're all technical names used. Names like, let's say it's a table. Okay, then they will use TB underscore some other code. It's talking about, let us say, students, then ST underscore field 01. Okay, TB underscore ST underscore 02 second field. So when there are such technical names given which end users or business users may not understand, we might have to rename the fields to something more appropriate. We might have to rename the field. So how do you rename a field? Is just double click on the field name, like ship mode. You can see here, if I double click on it, it becomes editable and I can give it any name. I'll call it shipment. All right. Or you can click on the drop down icon of that field and choose to rename it. Then also it will become editable and you can give it some name of your choice. So what is it that we are talking about? We understood that there are different data types which Tableau identifies and supports. We saw how to change the data type. Now we are talking about how to rename a field to something more appropriate if it is not. If the name is, if you think the end users or the business users will not understand that name, we want to give a more meaningful name to that column, you just choose to rename it. All right. Then what if you want to give a different value to the data? Renaming the field was simple. We went and we said we want to rename. How about changing the names of the values in that column or in that field? Like maybe my business users do not understand second class, standard class, first class, and same day. Maybe these are technical names which they do not understand. They're not able to understand the significance of these names. So I want to give a much more user friendly name that they are familiar with, that my readers, the report readers, are familiar with. So I can also change those values, give an alternate name to these values, give an alternate name to these values, which is called as alias. Alias. So when I click on this drop down icon, there is an option called as aliases. All right. So you can go and change and give a different alias name. First class, I will call it premium class. Second class, let us call it economy class. Okay, something like that. Same day, let us call it urgent shipment. And standard class, I will leave it as standard only. Okay, so if you think it is required, if you need to rename something, rename the values, you can use the alias option. So what happens when you do this? You will be able to see the alias name instead of the actual name that is there in the database. In the database, it is called something else. And here you are calling it something else using an alias name. Okay, now you will notice that the checkbox called as show aliases became active because we are seeing the alias name. What if you want to see the original name of that field in the database? Original values from the database and not the alias or the alternate name or the new name that you have given to the values. Then you just uncheck show alias. It will go back to showing you the original. You select alias, it will show you the alias name that you have used. Okay, it's that simple to toggle between the two. All right. Now, if there is any field which you think is not necessary for your analysis, like maybe I don't need to know which segment the customer belongs to, you can go ahead and hide it. Any field that you think is not required for your analysis, you can go ahead and hide it. So when you hide it, it gets hidden. What if you want to bring back the hidden fields? Then you'll have to select this checkbox of show hidden fields. The hidden field will come back, but it will be deactive. It will be deactive. You have to go to that field and unhide it. So what is the next thing we are discussing here? After aliases, we are discussing about hide and unhide options. All this is there in your training material. Okay, don't worry about the thing, just focus on the concept. So if you want to hide something, you will go click on the drop down icon of that field and choose to hide it. If you have to show the hidden fields, select the show hidden fields checkbox and unhide them. Hiding is one step, unhiding is two steps. Okay, now here on this data grid, these are the things that we can do. Everything that we can do, we have covered. Next to the data grid icon that we are on, you will see another icon called as metadata. Manage metadata. So what is metadata? Metadata is data about your data. Correct? Metadata is data about your data. What is the data here? These values, the columns and the rows, this is our data. What can we know about the data? What could be the metadata? Basically, all the other information about this data means what is the name of the field, what is the data type of the field, which table does it belong to, from which data source is it coming, in the data source, which table. All this information becomes the metadata layer. Many more things, but as of now, with respect to data grid, this is the information. So it's like this. Let me give you an analogy here. Let's say you're reading a novel. Okay, you're reading a story. So the actual story written in the book is data. Okay, that story that is written in the novel is data. all the other information about that book, like what is the title of that book, who is the author of that book, who is the publisher of that book, who is the distributor, what is the ISBN code, what is the cost of the book. So all this will become what? Metadata layer, because it is information about that book. Story is data. Information about that book, where the story is written, like author and or the title and everything else, publisher, ISBN code, everything else, that would become the metadata layer. Similarly, here, if this is my data, then what would be the metadata? Let's see. Name of the field, the table that it is coming from, what is the name of that field in the database. Remote field name means what is the name of the field in the database. Okay, so like here we are calling it shipment, but the name of that field in the remote field name, that is the database, is ship mode. So this is about the different options we have here on the data grid and what we can do. Now we can also sort it. Now you see the fields are appearing in the data source order. The order in which they are present in the data source: row ID first column, author ID second column, order date third column, so on and so forth, right? So the same data source order is maintained here. If you want, you can change that and you can go from A to Z. Alphabetical order you can arrange them, or Z to A, reverse alphabetical order. Or if you have multiple tables, which we will be seeing in module 5, if you have multiple tables, you can also sort it A to Z per table. Sorting is a completely different concept, which we will cover in detail in module 4, I think. Okay, so we will cover that in detail, but for now on the data grid, with respect to this, I'm telling you. So what is it that we are looking at? After we get connected to the data source, we are taken to the data source page. On the data source page, we get to see the name of the data source that we are connected to, tables or worksheets or schemas, whatever is there in that database. You can see them listed here. To start using the data coming from any particular data source, we drag and drop it in this area. Once we do that, we can get a preview of the data present in that worksheet or table on the data grid. Apart from just showing us a preview of the data grid will also tell you about the name of the field, table it belongs to, and a visual cue to the data type of that field. If you want to change the data type, you just have to click on the visual cue and choose whatever you think is more appropriate data type for that field. You can rename the field if necessary. You can change the values by using the edit alias option. You can hide a column that you think is not required. You can unhide it again. Okay, and you can go to the metadata grid, get information about the remote field names. You can sort the data in any sequence of your choice from the inbuilt options available. Till here, is it clear? Any questions so far? We have to discuss about one more thing on the data source page, that is about connection, live and extract. But before that, if any of you has any questions on whatever we discussed so far. So data sets will be shared by you, shared with you, sorry. Yeah, we can use CSV file as input. If you want to use CSV as input, you will have to use text file as the file type. For CSV, you have to use text file to connect to it. Not Excel, but text file. People try CSV connection with Excel, it will not work. You have to try it with text file. We can change the date format. Yes, we can change the date format. We will look at it a little later. Or how to change the date format, we will see a little later. Okay. All right. So let me show you what we have discussed so far. Oh, we have not even reached the worksheet yet. Data types we discussed. Different data types which Tableau supports we discussed. Okay. And how do you change the data type we discussed? How to hide a field we discussed if it is not necessary. And then how do you unhide it? Later, you can unhide it. So here we have to discuss about live and extract connection, and we have to discuss about the different components and terminologies on the user interface itself, which we will not do today. We don't have enough time, because even if I begin this discussion, I cannot finish it in the time given to us. So here we will stop our discussion. If any of you has any questions on whatever we have discussed today, I will take it up now. Tomorrow we will continue with the same module, module 1, where we look at the remaining concepts and then proceed to module 2. Now, Manish has entered the meeting. So please WhatsApp your email ID on that number given to you on the chat. Please make a note of the number and WhatsApp your email ID. Okay. Once you do that, you will be given access to Tableau. Once you get the access to the Tableau folder, you will be able to see the presentations. You will be able to download the data sources, okay, for the hands-on activities that we are going to perform, and everything else. Okay, so please get in touch with Manish on that mobile number and share your information with him. Okay, all of you, please take a minute, give him your details. Maybe you can do it right away. If you do not give your email ID, he will not be able to add Tableau folder for you. So please take it up as priority and give it to him. And yeah, that's it from my side. I'll be on mute. If you have any questions, let me know. I will answer them. Thank you. Thank you for today. And I will see you tomorrow for the next session. Thank you.